Rise from your grave.
Hello, everybody out there. We are the middle-aged guys, and we bullshit, well, actually about a lot of stuff. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
And Great Mouse 1.
Earlier this week, actually on Tuesday, November 14th, Sega went ahead and they put out a brand new Japanese survey where they had a whole bunch of, they had hosted up the survey and they had asked their fans in Japan what they would like, basically what characters and what franchises would you like revived that happen to exist or happen to have seen a title pre-2014. So they weren't looking for something anything current or anything like that. They're actually hoping to go ahead and tap into a little bit of something that was in the nostalgic vein. Now, this shouldn't be too much of a surprise because supposedly back in 2015, Sega had promised and announced out to the world that they were going toward a more fan-oriented direction. And people saw stuff like, oh, Sonic Mania is coming out, and a few other things. Maybe not exactly what folks were asking for, but this particular week, what they said was that they wanted to go ahead, get the results of this survey through, find out what everybody was looking forward to as far as their most hoped for, character or franchise that you want. They wanted brought back from the old Sega library, and based off of that, they said that, hey, look, we're gonna go ahead and announce it out, and then they were gonna make decisions on what sort of series of franchises they were gonna work toward based off of that, which makes things really interesting because I have a few theories as far as what they possibly could do. Some of it really kind of like cheap and dirty as far as what they might want to do. But before I go into my theories, what are your guys' thoughts on it? Floor is open.
Look, as far as Sega and everything, and surveys, I really hope that they take in consideration that there are a lot of games out there that people want to see returned. There are a lot of franchises that people want to see returned and done correctly by Sega standards. Not pawned off to any other publisher or developer to make their creations look like shit, or sound like shit or play like shit. Look, we're going to get to what we want as franchises and stuff in any given moment. But what I'm saying is, Sega, please understand and listen to what we suggest, because all of your shit, especially from way back in the day, we love it, we crave it, we want to play that shit again, or we want you to continue some of those franchises.
What about you, Gray Mouse? What are your thoughts, initial thoughts when you hear something like that?
My initial thoughts was that, oh, here we go again. We've already did this survey, no names mentioned, KONAMI. And they did this, and then it turned out, oh, okay, so you want Castlevania and you want Metal Gear Solid. Okay, we got you. But we're going to make Pachinko machines out of it.
But we're talking about a video game company this time. I know, yeah, but I get what you're saying.
But we've been burned like this before, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree.
I mean, forgive me for no, actually, yeah, I have reserves for that. But, you know, I have to echo everything that the thing said, you know. If the company Sega is serious about going back retro, you know, it seems like retro is everything, what the popular in thing now, you know, if they go back to, did you say pre 19 what?
No, they were asking for them. They're asking the survey people, the people who are responding to the survey, to go ahead and tell them what series franchises or characters that they were interested in that were released before 2014, pre 2014.
Pre 2014. Okay. I mean, you got a whole list of stuff. I mean, just coming. Oh my gosh, man. I mean. Yakuza. I mean, anyway, I'm just saying you got all these franchises that Sega has control over. Just do it right. You know, listen to what the fans are saying, and make some money. You know, I mean, we gamers would be more than happy to give you our money for some good ass shit. Just listen to what we want, make that shit. And your money's ours. It's just that simple. I can't say anything more than that.
I think this particular one, it's a really, really easy way to go ahead and get market feedback as far as, a pulse of what they could sit there and say, oh, this is an easy metric. I could plug it into a spreadsheet, create a bar graph, and then show to bean counters in an executive boardroom. Hey, this is what our surveys show, and this is what people are most interested in. Now, this particular survey, it actually was only open for a little less than a week, and they closed it down. It's already the 20th in Japan, where they said that they would go ahead and release out the results. And actually, Sega Bits, the online blog forum dedicated to Sega news and other things, they released out the top 10 results for the three particular categories that they were looking at, and it's decidedly, it has a decidedly Japanese bend to it, because it was offered out to the fans in Japan, but it is kind of interesting to go ahead and look at this. All right, let me just go ahead and name them off, because the top 10 lists are really, really short. Okay, for the category most hoped revival, in other words, what series do you want revived the most? All right, let's start with number 10. Number 10 was Nights into Dreams.
Oh my God! Right at the beginning. Yes.
Okay. Number 9, which also is a no-brainer, Streets of Rage.
Hello.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. Number 8 is Skies of Arcadia, which I would wholeheartedly agree. I'd want to see another one of those. Number 7, Shining Force.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 6, Panzer Dragoon. Number 5, Virtua Fighter, because I think Virtua Fighter Final Showdown, I think they haven't done anything with that since like 2012 or anything like that. Yeah, it's been quite a while since the last Virtua Fighter. All right. Number 4, and somebody's beating them to the punch of this, Shenmue was number 4 on most hoped revival.
Shenmue.
Yep. All right. Number 3 is Virtual On.
Yes.
And number 2 is Jet Set Radio. And number 1, and like you said, this is a very Japanese list, is Sakura Wars. All right.
You know what? I cannot say anything bad about that entire list, especially the ones in the bottom, the 10, 9, 8, 7 slots. Yes.
Yeah, because it obviously harkens back to a lot more of classic mid to late 90s days of Sega and everything out there. You know, and yeah, that, you know, if they're following through, if they handle even just half the list, you know, and if that stuff makes it over stateside, I'll be happy, to be completely honest. But let's move on to the next category, okay? This is the brand that they were asking the fans, what brand are you most invested in, okay? What have you spent the most time with? What do you have the most memories with, and everything else, right? And like I said, it's a very Japanese, bend on this one, okay? Because some of these on here, I wouldn't expect to come from an American fan, but number 10 is prime example. Hatsune Miku, Project Diva.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Number 9, what brand they're most invested in? The Persona brand, and Atlas is owned by Sega. So yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Number 8. Now this is really, really interesting. All right, especially considering that, you know, we live in the land of emulation and retro throwbacks and virtual console and everything else. Number 8 is Sega Saturn.
Listen.
Wait. You said Sega Saturn.
Yeah, that's
Saturn as
a brand. Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see, the thing about it is, I was going to go into that, but I was like, wait a second, there's another list. So, continue.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. All right. Number 7 is Panzer Dragoon.
Yep.
Okay. Number 6 is Yakuza.
Yep.
Number 5 is Jet Set Radio. Number 4, Virtual Fighter.
Yes.
Number 3, Phantasy Star Online. Number 2 is Sonic the Hedgehog, which, you know what, even with how abysmal, you know, some of the later Sonics have been, that's a no-brainer. And again, number 1, showing that this is a very Japanese list, Sakura Wars, as the brand most people are invested in. All right.
Look, as far as me, the Saturn and the Dreamcast, hands down. Just those two alone. Now, we already made a video about the Sega Genesis returning South America.
Yeah. Yep.
And, okay, wow, Sega CD wasn't on it. No, but in all seriousness, listen, with those games and that fucking system that's on there, why not?
You know what I find very impressive is that just shows how much people are waiting for that Persona 5 game. It's been delayed again, but people are invested in that game, in that series. We got 5 games out, or there will be soon.
Yep. And they've got all of the spin-offs and all the stuff on the DS.
Yeah.
The DS versions and GBA versions.
That was a no-brainer there.
You know, so yeah, that would make sense. You know, touching back on the Saturn, this is the one thing about the Saturn that I find really, really frustrating, all right, was that Sega in Japan, on the PS2, they put out what they called the Sega Ages Collection, right, which is a series of discs which were updated versions of Sega Saturn games.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them full remakes, some of them just ports and collections, all right? In fact, if you try to find the Sega Ages disc, the actual Sega Saturn version of that was put out by Working Designs, good luck not paying $300 for that fucking thing, all right?
Right.
But Sega themselves put out the Sega Ages collections back in like the early to mid 2000s, where they released out, I think it was like 13 fucking discs and like almost 30 games, where they redid like these Saturn titles for the PS2, and that never saw the light of day here. It's mind-boggling, you know. I mean, if they were to go ahead and they were to revisit or even remaster or redo any of those Saturn titles, or hell, even make them available for some sort of online virtual console or something like that, I'd be willing to spend my cash.
You know what? I just had a thought. It just shows, being that it said Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
So as being you are most invested in. that is a huge plethora of games that people. So that should tell Sega that people are still, into. And wasn't it? Didn't we say on this channel that Sega Saturn was one of their quote unquote, I hate to say it, failures? They moved into Dreamcast so quick from the Sega Saturn, and then it finds itself on this list. Like you said, Reverend, mind blowing. So, look, pay attention to your fans, Sega. People still appreciate the Sega Saturn for what it was.
People just appreciate good shit. And yeah, Sega Saturn was good shit, excellent shit that we appreciated and that we still want.
Yeah, it's something that if you think about it, if you're somebody who is like growing up around that time, all right, let's say you were in grade school around the time you had the Saturn, then you're talking about somebody who's in their mid to early 20s right now, or actually their mid to late 20s right now. So this is somebody who has their own money, okay? All right, and they have their own cash to spend. They may even have kids, so this is something that this is obviously something that they're still interested in now. So that's definitely a prime demographic that you want to go ahead and market to. Okay, let's go ahead and cover the last part of the list. All right, the favorite character. Okay, pre-2014 that they were asking for. Okay, at number 10, Ulala.
Yeah.
Okay. At number 9, Alex Kidd.
Wow. Really?
Again, this is a Japanese list.
Yes, again, this is a Japanese list, all right? Okay. Okay. Number 8, and this one's kind of obscure, but then again, like I said, this is a Japanese list. Arl from Puyo Pop. From Puyo Puyo. All right.
Puyo Puyo.
Yep. 7, Temjin from Virtual On. 6, Dr. Eggman.
Of course.
That's
of course.
I don't see Sonic on this list, but Eggman's on there. All right. Okay. 5, Knights.
Yes.
Okay.
Period.
Yep. 4. Now this is one that's kind of surprising, considering. Well, okay, this will be self-explanatory when I mention it. Number 4, Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Who is now a Nintendo exclusive.
Right.
Yeah.
Good luck for Sega for that one.
Well, it's because Sega didn't want to sit there and bankroll they didn't want to pay production fees for number 2.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Oh. All right. Okay. Now, going onward. All right. Number 3, Ryo Hazuki from Shenmue.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
His story is not finished, so
No,
yeah.
it's not.
Yep. Number 2, Kazuma Kiryu from the Yakuza series. All right. His story isn't quite finished either.
Right.
No, it's not.
Yep. All right. And then number 1, and like I said, this is a very Japanese list. Segata Sanshiro, the fucking Sega Saturn mascot in Japan.
Again, Sega Saturn.
Yeah. Yeah. Who is literally judo throwing fucking ICBM ballistic missiles and shit. All right. Yeah.
Oh my God, this list. Where do I begin?
Yeah.
Look, man, you got Shenmue, you got Nights into Dreams, you got freaking Virtual On.
Virtual Fighter.
Virtual Fight.
No, Virtual On and Virtual Fighter were there.
Yeah,
Oh
both of them, yeah.
my God. The list, man, just pay attention. You got the Yakuza. Come on now.
I it would be nice if we see like some of these titles. The funny thing is that I don't know if maybe the readers, the Japanese readers who are dealing with the survey weren't paying attention to like 2014, because some of them are a little bit more recent. Like there are still new Yakuza games that are coming out. So what it sounded like Sega was trying to go ahead and reach in to see what people's thoughts and intentions were on a lot of things in their back library from a little bit older titles to go ahead and deal with as far as bringing forward.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but to add on to that, but you're looking at Persona, Yakuza, those are old games. I mean, if you go back to the beginning,
Yeah.
I mean, it has its, there are games coming out here soon in the future with those particular titles, but those games those are pre-2014 games.
Yeah.
That's what the root of the series is.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
if I was Sega and I saw those games on this list, I would think to myself, yeah, we put those games out, those are instant sellers. People are going to buy those.
Yeah. My fear is that they're going to go ahead and they're going to take this, all right, and they're either going to do like some sort of crappy mashup RPG like what they did with Virtual Worlds for the Sega Saturn back in the day, or they're going to sit there and put together some sort of arena multiplayer fighting game like fucking Smash or PlayStation All-Stars.
That wouldn't. No, please don't do anything like that.
You know
Or
what?
or what? Another Project X Zone, Cross Zone, or whatever. Will all these characters appear in one of those games?
Well, Namco handles that,
But still, Sega is a part of that.
Yeah, that's. I think the thing with that. I mean, if I were to be as pessimistic as I am, all right, whenever it comes to these particular sort of marketing surveys that a lot of publishers put out, and Graham also went ahead and he mentioned Konami earlier. If they were actually going to go ahead and do something with it going toward a game, all right, the cheapest, quickest, and most expedited way that they can go ahead and like pull all of these character threads and go ahead and throw them into some sort of product that would go ahead and try to satisfy everybody instead of reviving those individual franchises or those individual characters is shit. Like I said, do something like fucking Virtual World, all right, and make it a fucking mashup RPG, or do something like PlayStation All Stars or Smash Brothers, where you sit there and you do like a mashup, arena fighter.
No.
You know what? If they take this information, maybe they'll make a, like you said, a legacy or a legendary Sega game set. Like we were speaking earlier. I mean, whether or not Sega will revitalize, I mean, they're already revitalizing, or not revitalize, I mean, Persona and Shenmue and Persona. Did I say Persona already?
Yes.
Yakuza. There's games still coming out for that. So I think they will probably ignore that per se, but they need to start. I mean, even Knights in the Dream, even Knights, they had a game out for the Wii U, I guess, or whatever here recently for that. So I want the more obscure games like Jet Set Radio, those type of games. Even Crazy Taxi. I know that wasn't on the list, but Virtual On, yes. Fighting Vipers, yes. Virtual Fighter, yes.
Oh, no, please don't come out with another Fighter Mega Mix with all these characters in it.
No, I don't want to mesh. I don't want to mash up. No, man, please don't do that. If you're on a survey asking what series you want revitalized.
No, that's the thing about it. It looks like they're asking about series to come back, not for a mashup.
That's what I got from it.
But what the Reverend is saying, the quickest, the cheapest way to do it is to have a freaking mashup with the characters that are on these lists and mentioned. But no, fuck that. Bring back these franchises, make them bigger and better, but don't stray away. Don't make a 3D Streets of Rage. Please don't do that. Keep it 2D. In my opinion, keep that shit 2D. Please.
Streets of Rage is another one.
Bring back PSO. Yes.
Like I said, this sounds like this was sitting there saying, hey, look, they're interested in these old franchises, these old characters. it sounds like something to get excited for. But the pessimist in me and the realist in me is not very enthusiastic about it. Okay.
Hey, wait, because as Gray Mouse pointed out, we've all been burnt like this before. So
not only that, but not only that, but I'm just going to be honest. When it comes to Sega going out of their way and trying to retool and revamp older franchises and series and stuff like that, I've seen what happens when they do that. You end up with stuff like Golden Axe Beast Rider or fucking Altered Beasts. All right, it's just, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't sit well with me. I'm not reassured by this. Okay, I'm just saying,
bring back the old the arcade version of Golden Axe and Altered Beast and Golden Axe: The Revenge of the Death Adder, the arcade version that never hit home. Bring that shit. The Streets of Rage, yes. And fucking Virtual On. The Typing of the Dead. Bring that shit back.
He said, Typing of the Dead.
Seriously.
I would love to see some of this older stuff come back. I mean, like I said, even though it's a very Japanese list.
What, they're going to do Snapchatting of the Dead this time? Wait a minute, I didn't even get any objections of that? What, Selfie of the Dead?
Reload.
Selfie of the Dead?
Yeah, no.
Tweeting of the Dead?
No. We need to come back.
No, but look, but all these franchises and fucking people that were on this list, yes, characters that were on this list, bring them back, have them continue their franchises. I know a couple of them are shit out of luck, like, okay, Shenmue, that or even
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta, yeah.
Bayonetta.
Yeah.
My
Persona, because Atlas has that, so
yeah, but Atlas is owned by Sega, so
right.
Yeah.
My final thoughts on this whole thing is that, you know what? I mean, I have to be a pessimist on this as well. I mean, like I said at the top of the video, we've been burned by a survey before. And whether or not Sega, goes through with this, or maybe they just, took a survey and they're going to take the survey and just put it in a vault somewhere and close the door and say, ha, 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 ha. We don't know
what you want. Yeah, like, we know what you want. We're going to dangle the carrot.
But we're not going to give it to you. We're gonna put a carrot on a string.
Yeah.
No, but, I mean, Sega, there's so many, not used IPs. You got a lot of things out there that people are still interested in. And, but the optimistic part of me wants to believe that Sega will come out. I mean, Persona, is coming out, and that other game, Yakuza's coming out here soon, so that gives me a little bit of, hope, I guess. But we'll see. Time will tell.
Yep. And those were already titles that were in development already, so unfortunately, it's not very affected by this survey. It's odd, but I hope for the best. The pessimist in me is telling me not to get my hopes up, and that's kind of where I'm going to stand at on this particular one. All right. Is there any other final thoughts on this one? Yeah, I think we're pretty much done with this one, folks. You know what? If hopefully you're not as pessimistic about this particular thing that Sega is doing. In fact, if you're not as pessimistic, or if you are like I am, we'd love to hear about it. Leave us a comment below. Tell us what you think about this particular survey result and our thoughts on it, especially if you think we're missing something. Maybe we're not expounding on something, or maybe we're not expecting something that might happen. We'd appreciate to hear that. If you're so kind, hit that like button, hit subscribe. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We are the Middle-Aged Guys. We've been bullshitting about Sega's new customer survey about what franchises and characters they want to bring back pre-2014. And all the bullshit on that particular thought pretty much ends here. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Gray Mouse 1.
once again, for the benefits of common sense logic in gaming and bringing back gaming and characters, I hope, and not doing any garbage with them. No more Golden Axe, Beast Rider, or anything like that. Credits.
You ever get the feeling that like Sega and the marketing guys are doing that one bit from Eddie Murphy? I got the ice cream and you can't have none. I got the ice cream.
I said that's what I was saying earlier. I'm like, look, they're gonna dangle the carrot, dangle the carrot. Yeah, you know you want this, don't you? You want this, don't you? Well, psych.
You want to lick? Psych.
Fuck.
No.
It'd be really messed up if Sega does the man dart laugh at you too, man. I mean, come on.
Fuck that.